Yeah, now I got it. Okay, now okay, it's cool. Actually, I modified yesterday's code because yesterday we struggled something. So to save our time, I have done some pre-work to complete our task. Okay, so I will show you first output. I'm repeating. See, this is the output now. Earlier code actually it will work for only for two records, but I modified some conditions based on I actually when you are developing something, right, we need to first look for some basic functionality, then slowly you add your conditions and you need to test for different scenarios, then you can modify slowly your code. So that is a basic approach when you're developing any kind of code, like either it is java or whatever technology. The main logic is we need to first implement basic functionality, then you can add the advanced filters or some conditions, some use cases like that. For example, I will explain you everything here. First, I'm trying yesterday's thing. If you are observing, I'm trying to render some html dynamically for two products. Okay, so for that I will show you in my code now what are things I have modified. See here, if you're observing here, our code is modified. Yesterday I'm calling load dynamic products. Okay, this is simple function I called, but now I'm passing arguments like data, products data, and there is one more parameter called category. Okay, this function while you are loading your javascript, right, in html, I'm calling by default in the sense when you're first time hitting your html, this function should be called. See here, load dynamic products, and I'm passing products array. This products array is defined in our javascript at the top. If you see here data.js, okay, formatted here, this is our products array. Okay, now I added three products here. Okay, this is I'm making formatting, so it should be visible all the properties and all. Yesterday I kept in single line, right, so it is very readability is difficult, so I make it like this proper way. So now you're able to understand I have three products having different properties, like means there are how many properties, one two three some five properties are there. So I added these three properties, sorry, these three products when you load your page. For that I'm calling this page initially. So when you're going for your page, see this products that I passed, and I want all the products. So this is category. Okay, because my function should be flexible for all the cases. Suppose you in the ui, if you observe in the ui, I have different options here. When I select different category shoes, it should filter shoes. Okay, when I click on menswear, it has to be show menswear. Okay, and when I clicking on electronics, at present in my data we don't have any category electronics. If you see in the data whatever we have, products data, we don't have any category like menswear. Shoes is there, menswear, okay, and no electronics category. That's why I'm showing that message no products found. How we are going to show that message when no products? So that logic all I implemented. When no products is matching with our filter, then we need to show one message. Okay, suppose single product is there, how you will handle it? So that scenarios I handled here, I will show you the code now. Okay, now you guys understand use case, right? So all means I want to display all the products. If you select some filter, it has to filter the data. So to flexible that, I'm passing this products information and category information. First time I will explain in first scenario. When you are coming to this screen, it will call load products with all category, and it will come here. Okay, so here if you watching my code, there is a loop for all the products. I'm checking for category all, means if it is category all, I need to construct the html. Okay, so without any conditions. For example, if some category it will come, whatever category you pass this function, for example all we are passing, that time is okay. Suppose you pass a category called menswear, it has to be matched with our data category. Okay, here for example in index 1, first time it is coming, what it will come category is shoes. Okay, suppose you selected from the drop down menswear, so that menswear category it will come here, means through function we are passing, it is going here. So that value we are comparing with the data. Okay, so menswear is not matched with shoes, so this condition will fail, it won't go inside this. So again index will increase, now index equal to 1. So that time what will happen, now menswear will match, so it will go here and it will construct the HTML. Okay, so like that every time it is checking the condition, it will construct the HTML. That is fine, but our row will be, we are making our requirement for each two columns, we need to make it as one single row. To identify how we will identify that one, to identify that, I'm using one flag called display products initially count 0. Okay, once this if condition is, so what you call satisfied, then it will go inside, right? Then I'm increasing the count of my display product count, incrementing 1. So once incremented, the display count, suppose 1 came, that time I don't want to make it as in any row. If it is 2, I want to make it in one row. So for that I'm checking here addition modulo operator. You know, guys know, right? Addition modulo means it divided by 2, what is the remainder it will take. If it is 0 means it is properly divided by 2. So that time I will make it is, it is one row, whatever two columns I want to put it in one single row. Okay, I will show you output of HTML how it is coming. Just now understand, each two items I want to keep in one single row. For that we are written this code. Okay, but one more condition we need to check. Suppose your product having single product or last product. For example, if you get odd number 3 products. Okay, so 3 products means first 2 products is okay, it will work. But now one single product is there, that single product also I want to keep it is in one single row. So that situation how you will handle, to handle that one, when that index equal to product dot length minus 1 means that single product is last element of your array. So if it is single element and it is the last element, we need to keep it in the one row. That's why we are able to see even these 3 products also. When I select all, see these 2 products time row is added, same time single product means I have, this is the last product and I have only one element because odd number. So that time also I want to add this one into new row. So for that condition to satisfy, we kept our condition here. Okay, so that is the purpose of this one. Length minus 1 means suppose you have 3 products, length of that product is 3, right? 3 minus 1 2. Index of third product is, what is the index? 2. Third product means 0 1 2. So 2 is equal to length minus 1, 3 minus 1, it will equal. So that time also I want to make it is element inside the row, means one div as a row I want to keep it. For this purpose this condition I have added. Okay, this logic when you are implementing, you need to think and you have to implement. After that one more problem we got it, when you filter the elements. Suppose in based on index for all products it is okay. Suppose you are filtering data but index is 3 times it will loop, but it is not matching with any index. So that time what will happen, it will won't enter into this if condition. Okay, because of our category suppose not match. Because that time what will happen, if it is not entering inside this display product count always 0. Okay, so if display count is 0, what we need to do, that is one scenario. If this only one time it is going, then display count equal to 1. That time what we need to do, suppose if display count is greater than 0, these are the different scenarios. Okay, if we equal to 0, what we need to do, equal to 1, what we need to do. So for that I just written some code here. If you observing here, when count equal to 1 also I need to keep it is in one row, and whatever single product I want to add into a row. That is one condition. After that, suppose display count equal to 0. In that scenario I want to show some message, sorry no product is found. So this HTML I'm generating with font weight bold and color red. Okay, so for that condition, after that suppose greater than 0 means I have more products. That time I want to whatever constructed complete HTML is here. At last we will get the complete HTML, product HTML, that we need to attach to container. Container means if you see my HTML code main page, shopping cart at HTML, we have, see this is the container, this is a holding container. So this class I'm using, see at present I'm not hard coded any HTML here, everything is coming dynamic. I removed earlier whatever static HTML. Now I'm getting the data from the JavaScript only. What, see this container attaching whatever HTML we are adding. So this logic you guys understand. So while you are implementing, we need to look into these many conditions. Suppose in your case you want to represent 3 elements per row, so that time you need to modify here by 3 or something like that. Okay, so based on your requirement we need to modify these small conditions. Okay, so we need to think in different ways. This logic we need to implement. Now I am showing again output once you to understand you guys. Okay, and I will debug. I will show you how the flow is going on. I will show you. Okay, so for this I will keep it as in debug point here. Okay, so initially because we are calling from the HTML all function, if you observe in HTML at the down we are calling this function load dynamic products, and by default all we are passing. So this function will call when you refresh your page. First time it will hit this function with all condition. See what are the things. We have 3 products. We declare top 3 products and category all. Okay, this is all coming. Now line by line I will show you what is happening. So this is the way we need to see. Suppose existing code you guys want to modify how the existing functionality is working, you need to debug this way. Okay, so I'm clicking on next. Why I'm clearing? Suppose this is first time coming, whatever previous HTML should be cleared. That's why this variable we are making empty. Okay, now display count initially 0, that is okay. So now index of your products we are looping. Okay, so next where it will come, see this if condition category equal to all, because this function we are passing all, so it is matching here. Okay, now I will give you, now I will click on next. So it is trying to construct the one column of one particular element. Okay, now this count is will increment, means next line if you go, this count is increased to 1. 1 divided by 2 not equal to 0, so it won't be match here. Okay, and index is present 0. 0 is not equal to, total count is 3, length is 3, 3 minus 1 2. This condition also not match. Okay, so it won't come here, it will go to again loop. So second product. Okay, second product will go for this second product. Now index is increased 1. Now second product column is constructing. So this time what will happen, 2 divided by 2, so it will add 2 products into one row. See, this condition is satisfied because now display count is increased to 2 by 2 means 0, means remainder 0. So now these 2 products will be added into one row. Okay, so it is added. This time I want to products column I need to clear, because whatever 2 columns I have, the data should be cleared, or else what will happen in next time next loop also, these 2 products will be added inside next row. So that's why I want to clear previous column data. So I'm clearing the previous columns data. Previous column data means I have 2 columns data here. Okay, to store in one row I'm storing this variable. Now I'm clearing because I'm already added to main HTML. So that way it is coming here. Now for third product what will happen, third product index is 2. So this time this condition it won't match first condition, but second condition will match. Why? Because 2 is equal to length minus 1, means this is the final product, a last product. In that case also I want to construct that single column also need to add inside the row. So it will add into the row, it will consider that one. So loop will come out now, because 3 products I have, 3 products loop is completed. Now it will come out of loop. So now again, because now display count will be increased to 3 times, because we increased 3 times that loop is going. So this if condition is satisfied, so the display count will be 3. Okay, so if it is 3, we are checking different conditions here. If equal to 1, what we need to do? Okay, if is equal to 0, what we need to do? So at present it will go for condition display product greater than equal to 0, because we have 3. So that time it will attach your products into the container. See, until that condition is executes, here you don't have any in the screen, you don't have any products. Okay, so once that step executes, you guys can understand. I will go for 61 line. Until it reaches 61, the data will not be. See, now This 2 if we failed, this if will be passed because count is greater than 0. 3 means. See now this is just enter the line, not executed, but you can check what is the HTML here. See that complete rows, columns, everything is there. This HTML we are attaching to the container. So when you click on next line, products will come here. See products are came. Just click on play button now. All products will be coming. This logic you guys understand, right? So this is the way you have to debug how functionality is working. So now I will debug same function by using filter. Okay, when filter means when on changing, so changing this one I'm calling some functionality. When you changing your product, same function I'm using, I will show you the on change how I'm implemented. So these are predefined HTML like Bootstrap. I included Bootstrap CSS at the top. See these are the some predefined CDNs I included, okay, related to Bootstrap. Okay, because it will provide you the predefined CSS. So I used that classes for here for drop down. So when I select shoes, there is a on change event for drop down. I told you, right, there is a different events for button on click and drop down on change event. So we are having on change event here. I have defined one function called display selected category products. Okay, so this function I defined here, if you observe here, I have that function. I will show you. See that function I defined here means when you're changing the drop down value, this function will be fired. But I want to get the value of selected value. To get the selected value of drop down, by using ID, I'm getting the jQuery. When you're using ID means hash symbol and dot value. Instead of this, we can use this one also through JavaScript document dot. You guys know, right, basic of JavaScript element by. Anyway, we are using JavaScript. That's why I'm sorry jQuery. So I use a jQuery thing. Get element by ID. What is the ID of drop down? Select the category. You guys can observe here. I'm using shopping.html here. If you see, this is my ID of drop down. Okay. So for that, I'm using that ID here to get the value. Just I'm showing for your reference through JavaScript also we can get the value. Sorry, here value we need to write. It is not method. VALUE. Okay. So there is a different val means we are calling one method. So jQuery internally calls this JavaScript this function only. Okay, if you are comparing both, native JavaScript will be the faster than jQuery method. That also remember. But syntax wise, this is very easy. Just one hash and the ID name you pass, it will work. So I will get the whatever selected value. So based on selected value, I'm passing to this function. This function, why I'm making this is a common function we can use for everything. So same function we are calling with a different category. See this function I defined here. So now whatever category you selected, right, that will be passed here. Okay, I will show you the now this flow by debugging. Okay, how this is calling, I will show you this. Inspect element. So instead of explaining in there, I will show you by giving debug point here. Okay, on change we have function called display products. When you change something, this function will be fired. For example, I will select menswear. Okay, so this is coming here. When you observe here, at present undefined, until you go to next line, that value will not come. I will go to next line. You can click F10 or this arrow mark. See now you see selected category menswear. Our drop down value coming here. See selected category equal to menswear. Okay, now I am calling this load dynamic products. When I click next, see it went inside this function. I given debug point here. Now you can check category menswear and product, whatever you have 3 products. Okay, now it will check with this menswear is matching with any products. Okay, so to do that we are looping here. To do that one, what we are doing, okay, so this for loop checking with category, we will see that. I will go next. Same logic earlier how all is doing, this also will do same thing. Only thing is extra filter is it will compare with category, whichever categories is matching it will go further. That's why we kept all our condition. For example, in index 1, what is the product index? This index is 0. That time what is the category? Category shoes. It won't match with our category menswear, so it won't go inside if condition. Okay, so it came next index. So second time, now this time what is the index 1 means? It will go for next product. It is a product category is menswear. This time it will match. Okay, so it match means it will go inside. Now it is increasing the count. Okay, count will be 1 now. Yes, 1. So 1 divided by 2, it will not allow this if condition, and this is not the last product, so this if condition will not execute. It go for next product. Okay, next product means again it will check for the category with this particular product. So if it is matches category, it will go inside. So it is matches, so it went inside. Now count is increased. Next, if you go next, it should be 2 now. See, count is 2 because 2 products having menswear category, so it is working perfectly. Now 2 by 2 equal to 0, so it is entered here and it is added in the one row. Okay, that logic you guys understanding, right? So that loop will be finished for at last. So now count equal to 2. 2 means display count is 2, so it will go again this last condition. It will display this, it will attach this complete data in the our UI. See, 2 products came output. Okay, same way, suppose we don't have there is a category called what we have category without any products. I want to show that one. Electronics devices, we don't have any category of products in our data. Okay, to see that, next. So now selected category is electronics, so we are passing that category to this function, so it will go inside this function. So category is electronics, products is 3. Same thing, it will loop every time and it will check for the category. I don't want to repeat same thing. Okay, just I will quickly do because it will be boring for you guys, but same functionality earlier how it is doing, but only thing is now product will be 0 because display product count will be 0. Why? Because that if condition will not match with any category. Okay, so that's why display count is not incremented. So whatever initially you declare value 0, so if 0 case I want to show one message, so I'm showing the no products, sorry, no products found. So that will attach to container. So if you see output, sorry, no products found. Okay, now extra thing here I will tell you main thing. Okay, and just I will remove this debug points, and after that whatever changes I have done, I added some price tag here, and when you clicking on add cart, there is an option I given. So when you clicking on that, here if you observe there is a count will be increasing. When I click add to cart, this count is increasing, you see. See this icon how I implemented means there is a font awesome icons, like how we have CSS for bootstrap. For icons also we have some predefined font awesome icons, so I added one library for that. Okay, so if you see in HTML at the top of my page, there is a font awesome related some Java I added. If you observe here, yeah, see font awesome, this is like to get the some icons. So if you see that icon where I declared float, right, see by using this particular this code, this code will give you the icons. Okay, if you keep one more thing, I will show you one more icon will generate. For testing purpose just I will show you. what it will do. I will put it one more icon here for your understanding. Okay, I will give this color. If you don't mention any color, by default it will come black. Okay, so FA hyphen shopping hyphen cart, this class will make you things, everything like that. We have n number of font or some icons. I will show you that how many icons. See here, we got one shopping cart icon. Okay, if you search for font awesome icon anything, I will tell you font awesome icons. Okay, if you type like this, we have n number of things for search icon. Okay, whatever you represent in graphical representation, we got everything. Okay, see, these all are icons. It will have some classes for that. See, these many icons are available in font awesome. In real time, you guys observe that these things will be used in so many places. Okay, if you want to get that one, for example, I want to use this profile thing. If you inspect element of this, there is a CSS for this. You can check here. FA, there will be, wait, you can search a different way, or wait, I will tell you. Icons, see, AA3 school itself, we have this one. Okay, see, these are the icons. You're clicking on anything, you can try those things. Just it is internally, if you're clicking on try, see, I will type one thing for your understanding. We'll use in our code because we already included. See, they also used CDN for font awesome. So now what I will do, I will add this icon here. See, these are predefined icons. Now we'll get that icon here. If you see in our code, I don't want to use debugging. See, icon, you got it right. So like this, based on your requirement, we can use these icons. That's what I want to introduce you, because sometime in interviews they will ask, are you used any icons or something? Then you can tell, I have used font awesome icons. There is a predefined CSS classes. You don't need to write any code for that. Just use that whatever icon class, then it will give you the icons. That's all. Okay. So just remember, this is the important thing in real time. Very important this. Okay, just I'm removing, these are testing purpose, I have put it. Okay, so now along with this, I want to show some counter. So when you are clicking on each time the add to cart, we need to increase the count. So for that, I have here, if you see, product count, I kept one span tag with product count. I'm giving color red. When you observe here, see, this color red is coming. If you see our screen, count we are showing by default 0. Okay, when you don't have any products you add it to cart. Okay, need to control F. I'm not saved this file. Yeah, not saved. So for that, I'm using, I given one ID for this span to store the, here see, by default 0 I kept. And how I'm incrementing this count when I clicking on add to cart button. So add to cart, where it is coming, we are generating HTML dynamically, right? See here, I have, there is a one button I added here. I'll show you, add to cart. See, add to cart. When you clicking on add to cart, I'm giving on click one function and calling one function add to cart. I'm sending two values, product ID and product price, because we need to calculate price of some of the products. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do is, see, I given one function called add to cart. Control F. See, inside add to cart, what I'm doing, total products in cart, I'm incrementing that product, because this count I'm using to show in my HTML. You are getting that increment rate 1, 2, 3. So I'm initially initialized this products count, total products in cart equal to 0. See here at the top, globally I'm declare initially 0. So once you click on add to cart, I'm incrementing that value. So when you click, when you're given plus plus means it is incrementing plus 1. Okay, so whatever text I'm clearing previous text, when you use dot text, it's kind of dot html. Dot text means it will clear only text, not html, it won't clear. At present our 0 is a number, it is text, so it will clear previous value, and it will dot text inside whatever you give, it will add that value inside that particular html. Means this product count html, we have span tag, right? If you see here, we have span tag, where it is. So if you want to understand, I will put it in proper way because it is not properly aligned. Okay, so I will show you proper alignment how to do. That is also important. That's why I'm not done. I thought to show you guys. Okay, so this is my div. I'm keeping this is float right here. I'm applying so many css. Just observe. Float right means what it will do, it will keep your html float right. If you see here, it is showing float right means entire right side. And after that I given one more property, little bit padding right 100 pixels. If I'm not given padding right 100 pixels, it will go entirely here. Okay, I will show you that one, how it behave if I give float right only. Okay, I will remove here for this div. We have this product properties float right and padding right. If I remove padding right, see, it is going entirely right. Okay, so if I remove float right also, see, it is coming starting. So if I use float right, it will go entirely right, but I want to keep some space between right side corner, so I'm using padding right, some 100 pixels. So that's why it is coming here. Okay, because entirely this a tag and all everything keep in one container called one div. Okay, so now our icon is this one. After that we have counter, this one span is a counter here. If you're seeing that 0, so this is the idea given. So when you're clicking an add card, I want to increment the value of that counter, and I want to display that value inside this span tag. So by using this id, I'm setting the whatever incremented value. If you observe here data.js, whatever incremented value we are setting here to product ID. See, this is the total product in cart we are showing. See, this is very important. By seeing my variable names, function names, what is happening, you were able to understand. When you're writing your code, you should follow this thing. See, when somebody comes and seeing my code, they can understand what this function is doing, what is a variable doing. So this is very important when you are functional implementing. Don't use x, y, z and I, j, k like that. Okay, give the names meaningful. That is very important. After that, because we need to show, after that when you're clicking on that shopping cart icon, we need to show some summary page, right? Means what are the products you added, and how many quantity and price and total price. That summary page we need to do. So for that we require some data. So to store that, I'm storing into one products in cart, one array I declared. If you see this one, I declared initially with empty array, products in cart. Okay, now when you're clicking on add cart, every time I need to update that array, up pushing product id. What I'm doing, I'm just adding that particular whatever you selected product id inside this products cart. Why? Because based on this product id, I can track, I can get the price, I can get the number of quantity. Suppose in that array we have multiple same products, we need to count that particular single product how many times is added. Suppose same add card you clicked for same product two times or three times, we need to show quantity. Three items, three t-shirts he selected, or three suits he selected, two pair of shoes he selected. So that we need to calculate that functional. Actually I didn't implement, I want to show that one today's class actually. Before that, whatever previously we have done, I am explaining. Okay, so now just we have one array in our hand, products in cart, that only we have one data. So based on this array only, we are going to display the next screen. When you clicking on cart, I want to display some data. So that we are pending. Okay, so once that is done, my intention is completed. So after that, one more thing we need to do, we need to calculate the total price. Okay, so to calculate total price also, I declared first total amount as 0 initially. You see here, total amount I initialize to 0. Okay, each time when you clicking on add to cart, I'm incrementing this total amount also, price of that particular product, because we are passing the price of that particular product whichever you selected. Okay, if you see this add to cart method, when you clicking on that particular product, we are calling this function. See, so when you clicking on this function, we are passing two values, one product id, one is price. So based on this price, I can increase the total amount. So whatever you selected product and previous total amount, we are combining some addition both, and we are keeping total amount, because this total amount should be displayed at the your last action, like place order. When you place order, we need to show summary. This is the total amount we are going to pay, like that. Okay, so for that we need to use to show this total amount. Okay, this is the functionality I have done. So you guys still have any doubts here? This logic, actually, if you see, when you're doing practice, it will be very interesting for you. So you need to take care about different scenarios and all. Okay, it is interesting actually when you are implementing your by one. Okay, and you guys can implement better than me if you have good logical thinking, and if you know some css and all, you guys can also implement better than. But I'm trying to give you the in real time work, how it has to be, and how you have to think different scenarios, use cases, and how your logic have to be implemented. Because these functions and all I explained you theoretically, but if you're seeing here, same function I'm calling in different ways. Okay, I'm making by passing the parameters. The same function I'm using for multiple things. Okay, that is you have to observe. Okay, for categories I'm using, and also when passing the all, based on this if our condition, it is working for both the cases. Okay, and also here also same thing we need to implement. I don't need to keep one more if for this one. So I kept R condition. This R means pipe symbol in our keyboard. Who are new to coding, I'm telling, this is R condition. So I'm keeping R condition, it will work for both. Okay, so very important here, it has to be this condition outside of if this for loop. Okay, if you keep something in inside for loop, your entire logic will be gone. And also when you're initializing these variables also, right? See this display product count, I'm initializing outside of for loop. If you keep inside for loop, every time that count will be reset to 0. That is the commonly doing mistake. You can't keep this variable inside for loop. Okay, it should be outside. And also, so some lines of code you looks very simple, but it will impact your code very much. So this product.html I'm clearing here. Okay, why we need to clear and all, when you think about your functionality and you have to map with your coding, that is very important. Every time you have to see the output how it is coming, and you try to map your code to our output. Okay, in that scenario, if you're thinking step by step, you can resolve your issues and you can solve. Okay, I have done in that way only, because every time I'm checking some conditions. Suppose if it is one product, what will happen? Suppose two products, what will happen? In zero condition, what will happen? Like that, this is called unit testing. Okay, unit testing means you need, I showed you right earlier, you need to think in different scenarios what is happening. According to that, one condition you add and you modify your code. This is a coding approach. And your code should be clean. Okay, like yesterday's, if you see, my array data I kept in single line, now I modified. And also everything should be readability is important. Your code should be readable, and hierarchy, maintain clean code always. If you have any complex logic, you just give the comment above your functions. For example, I want to give some logic, I want to explain somebody to seeing my code, why I'm doing this condition, why I'm doing this condition. Okay, so we can give useful to. Because based on this counter only, right, we are doing here different conditions. And this if condition, what is the purpose? Okay, this if condition is used for in case of two elements in one row, and if last element when you are having this problem, we can give in next line this comment. What is this? You don't, it should not be any code you're writing, it should be visible in your screen only, you can't scroll actually. That is one more important coding. So how much screen you are able to see, your code should be written in that way only, it should not be extended horizontally. You have to make it as next line. Use it for two elements in one row, and if last element is present with single, or you can tell or odd element, we need to add into row. Okay, I should not keep this way, so I will give multi-line comments. Okay, you know multi-line comments, right? Star slash slash star. Okay, if you use this multiple lines, we can. Whenever using some complex logics and all, we should give like this comments, and each function above also for file also you should give some declaration about your page, what is the purpose of this page. So if you go for some standard companies, they will ask you to do these things. Okay, this is data.js used for to load products. Okay, and who is the author, for example, when it is created, author is for example Krishna Chaitanya. If you have in company, you have different IDs, your employee ID or primary key, something will be there. Okay, I have some key in my office, so I'm using that one. So you have to give that ID and date, created date. Example, what is today's date? 08. Okay, this is file header. Like that we should give for functions also, function related functionality. Suppose it is simple function, you don't need to mention, but if it is complex functionality and it is very difficult, then you have to give. Unnecessarily you should not give comments for everything. Okay, if it is complex, and then only you should give the comments. Okay, so this is a real time scenario how your code should be looks, formatting. Okay, I want to actually do one more thing, but it will take some time, I'm thinking. But 10 minutes or 15 minutes I will try to do something. If it is completed or not, I will leave in middle, later we'll see that. Okay, so what is my intention is now final touch about when you clicking on this add card thing, right? I want to display summary of your order. Okay, means how many products you selected, what is the quantity. Still these icons are coming, I'm removed, right? Where it is. Okay, so I will add something here. Now I added one product here. Now clicking on this one, I want to go to next screen. So to do that, I'm doing now, I started one functionality. So if you go to my icon for a shopping cart icon, where it is product count, now I want to make it as an on click of this event. So where is this anchor tag is there? Okay, actually I thought to keep this, but my planning is changed. We need to call one function instead of anchor tag. What I'm going to do, we'll give click event only. There is a click event, we'll call one function. So we'll give on click is equal to Actually, I'm defining that function somewhere here. Just before your call, I just started to define that. Yeah, load selected products. Okay. So this is first. At present for testing, what we will do here, we will show selected products. Okay. And selected products means we have products in cart. This is an array. It will display everything. I already printing in the console. We'll see in the console it is printing or not. So same thing we can see here. Okay, let it be. We'll see now. It has to show that message now. I will click on add to cart. When I click here, okay, this is actually earlier code is not refreshed because earlier I kept some link, right? It's still going that one. I need to restart. Sometime if you change HTML, right, we need to restart your to refresh your code. Okay, so or else it is reflecting previous code. Previously I added some anchor tag when you clicking on that, so that's what it is going. Now when I click this, oh, control F5. Sometime cache issue will be there. Control F5 will use. Okay, we'll see now still why it is happening. I think previous HTML I'm not saved. Okay, I'm not saved this one. Okay, so I modified that but not saved. We need to call this function also. What is our function? Load selected product list. When you're clicking on that, we need to call this function. Okay, so you guys, if you're getting idea, you guys can do your logic and all. You can do better than my way, but I'm showing the this is the way we can do it. Two products are added, right? Now when I click here, see here we will show selected products. So my container is updated with this one because I given here. When you're clicking on that, I just .html I'm giving. It will remove all the previous HTML and it will show this message. Instead of this message, now what we need to do, whatever products you selected, right, that we have to show summary. This is a product you selected quantity 2. This is the price of each item. This is the price for this particular 2 items. Like that it will show one row. At last total amount you have to be pay this amount, then place order one button. This is my requirement. Okay, so for this I will start today. If possible, whatever I have done, I will give you guys kind of some assignment because same logic only, that for loop we have, right? Only thing is based on product ID we need to find the item, each item. So what I'm trying means I'm repeating. So in one array I'm pushing whatever you selected product ID. So based on the product ID you have to get the product information from this array. So I will show in the console. I'm printing in console selected products. What I'm planning to do I will explain. See products in cart, because same add to cart I clicked it 2 times, so same item only added 2 times. See this array contains 2 items, products in cart 101 101. Now I in summary page what I need to show, this particular 101 related information like image I need to show, and how many at present we have 101 2 times means quantity 2, and what is the price of the 2 products. Okay, so that I want to show, and at down place the order. This is my requirement. So this is actually one array. If you see in my code, I'm keeping in this all product IDs, selected product IDs in one array. Products ID in cart. Okay, I'm pushing whatever you selected each time you clicking on add to cart. I'm pushing into this array. That one on in console I'm printing for testing purpose. Okay, so if you see at the top, we have this array by default empty. Now by using that ID, because this 101 is available in our main product items list, there I want to get the values like name and price. I will get it. And if you in array 101 is repeated 2 times, right, then I want to show quantities too. Suppose in array that same 102 how many times it is repeated, there you have to use some your what you call API of arrays, how to find one element how many times it is repeated, so you can get the count of that particular element. So that one we want to show as a quantity. And after that, what I need to do, price. Suppose 101 price is $200. So if you are selecting two items means into two you have to do that logic also, means to calculate amount for a particular item, that quantity into your price. So we have to show the price of that particular item. Then again same another next element. Suppose this element is different from the previous element in your array, then individually that element related information, product id, quantity, and price. So that is my requirement. To do that, how we have to do is, first thing is based on product id, because we have this product id in cart. Okay, I will try to show you at least minimum main functionality, then html thing and looping thing you guys can do whatever we previously done. So now what I'm going to do is, this products id in cart is a for loop. Now we need to loop. So what I will do, for this product index I will give selected product index, SEL PR. Shortcuts also we can use, or as PRO LIND. Okay, sometime you can use like this, but some people able to understand this one, some people not able to understand. But I can give index like this, selected product index means I have selected products list, there I'm using this index. Okay, this index also will start from 0, so I'm giving 0. After that, what is my array? This is my array. So this should be, this is index should be less than products in cart dot length, length. Okay, length it should be. Next I want to increment the index of selected product index. So why this for loop is I'm using now, to display whatever you selected products information, kind of summary page. To do implement that, I'm using this for loop. Okay, now based on product id I can find the element. Okay, there is a find in jQuery, javascript. By using that we can get the particular object from the array. So that is an important thing. So if you see here I have different products in my hand. Now 101 is there. So in this particular array of objects, where is 101 is matching, that particular object I want to get it, means I want to get this particular object, because in my hand I have 101 selected a product id. So based on this id I want to get this data. So that's what I'm trying to do. So we'll see the syntax of find in because find syntax we need to get. Okay, I will show you javascript we have used earlier, I think, javascript find. Okay, for example here, see check got it. Function element by what is this? One second. This is, yeah. See this find what is doing, inside this we can define one function to find that particular element is matching that one. So there is a arrow function we can use inside this. Okay, I told you, right, you guys, earlier we have some arrow function. Instead of this function we are writing, we can directly write some arrow function here. Okay, for example I will change this one to arrow function. Okay, for this we need to do, data.age. Okay, here we have ages, right? Okay, it will give same output. I will remove this. In single line we can make it. So anyway, we can use this one directly in our case. This also you can see. Okay, I will show you. No need to write actually for loop and all. Single line is enough to do that. Yeah, this is the thing actually I'm trying to do. Okay, if you want to check this, we'll see this one to understand the basic functionality of find functionality, how it will work. Okay, we can execute inside console, inspect. Okay, just I want to you guys explain find functionality, how it will work. Okay, so if you're seeing here, there is an array, it contains some objects. Okay, which is equal to string one. We need to get it that particular object. Means here if you see first string one name equal to name one, so it will get complete object here. Okay, we can console.log here, log whatever object it is filtered. Okay, means string one matching. I want to show this example. See, now it is returning one object related to string one. Okay, we have to use same kind of functionality. Based on product id, it has to filter this product data in our case. Okay, I'm using same kind of functionality here, you guys can observe here. Okay, I will do. Okay, so instead of here, let object means selected. Okay, we can use where. Instead of string one, what we need to use here, o means we have to use products. What is our products? So inside products only we are going to check for the product id. So we need to pass here products comma products dot product id. Inside this array, what is the key that we need to use? Product id. Okay, is equal to we need to compare with this particular, what is the products in cart. Products in cart dot, sorry, we have to use index. What is the index? Selected products list index. For example, initially 101, so this 101 will come here, it will compare with inside these products any product id with 101. So that will filter that particular object, and it is the selected object. Okay, because this arrow function is actually ES6, that's why it is throwing error. But we'll see it will work here or not, because it is taking for normal JavaScript, that's why it is showing the error here. We'll see that one later. But that selected product is coming or not, we need to see. This selected product, what we'll do, we'll push into one array like display. We need to use as one display selected products. Okay, that will be one array. Okay, we'll declare at the top globally. It's contains so much logic actually. Okay, that's why I told it will not finish today, but at least some condition will you guys also think like that in real time functionality. If you understand, you can do it your own logic. Okay, so now I want to use that variable to push this particular filtered object here, because this is now object. It will filter from the whole object array to one particular object based on your product id. Now whatever filtered product id, I want to push it into one more array. See here I'm using always arrays and objects only. That's what array object, if you know understanding good, you guys are good in javascript. So these two things are very important: functions, arrays and objects. So now it is added here. So before that, what we need to do it is, suppose same 101 is repeated 2 times, so I don't want to push that item into this particular object. So to do that, what I can do it, there is a condition: if display selected product dot index of is used to find that object is existing or not in the array. Okay, so if it is equal to is less than 0, we can check it, equal to -1. If that element is not there, then only push it. Okay, or else don't push. But how you will know the count? Because we need to show quantity of that particular product, how many times it is increased. Okay, that particular product. Okay, how many times user is selected. Because every time when it is coming here, initially one time only it will add it here. We need to keep one more like count of that element. So for that we need to think the logic how to get the quantity of the element. So we need to keep product id or else product information along with quantity of that particular product. Okay, so if it is that element is already exists, we need to increment the count of that one. So else what we can do it is, in else condition means that element is already exist, increment the count and push into that array. Okay, so based on product id count, we can maintain one more property called that count of that particular product. So based on how you can manage quantity underscore product id, that value is increment. Suppose 1, 2 or 3 times, how many times it is coming, we need to use that particular one and we can increment. So that is one more logic to use that quantity. Okay, so for that I will tell you later. At present we are thinking only one element we added, that logic only we are focusing now. Later I will tell you that one. Okay, so we'll see now this is filtering or not first of all. Okay, once it is filtering the elements, it should get the selected product inside this array. So to do that, console dot log, we need to show check this one outside of this for loop. I will go slowly again. I will repeat. This is not big logic. Just we are filtering based on product ID. That's all. Okay, now I will refresh. It is republishing, right? Find is very useful in our arrays functionality. Even in TypeScript and all, we'll use that find functionality so many times. Okay, I will just refresh this. So I will add, this is one product. Okay, at present I will add only one product. Now we'll see this one product should be filtered from the total array. So we are doing by using find, we are filtering that. Okay, we'll see that it is happening or not. To check that one, we need to give one debug point inside. Anyway, we given console.log, but we'll see how this is working inside this. Now I will clicking on, see it is went to this loop because on click we are given this function, so it came here. Now when I go next line, see now index products in cart. Okay, we have only one item. Okay, that item is trying to find in total products. Now products in cart, what is the value? It is 101. So it will compare with this product IDs. So if it matches, it will add that element. Okay, some error because of I think arrow function. Okay, because I told you right, this is not ES6 functionality. That's why it is not executing. What is the error? We'll see in the console. ARR is not defined. Okay, where I'm using ARR. Okay, so this array is actually we need to pass these products. This is the main array. Here you can give alias of anything. For example, you can give PROD, but that PROD you have to use here. Okay, so this is products alias as product. So in that I'm checking the product ID. Okay, so we'll see now. Again we need to refresh. I think server is republishing here. Yeah, it is started. Need to go back. Now you saved the everything. You saved this. Just we'll restart this server. So server is started. It's fine. What is happening? Okay, so this is came. Now I will want to add one element. So when I click here, before that we need inspect element to check this console source. Okay, so it came here. Okay, okay, now product is not. So I need to compare properly. Yeah, yeah, it is adding product. See selected product, we got it. Price $10, product ID 101. So this find is working now. Okay, I thought it is ES script not finding. Okay. Okay, our functionality now working. Means console.log, it will print here our particular product. See here 101 related only it will print because we selected only 101. it is printing the 101. Now we have data, you can write your HTML to display, that is in our hand. So you have data means your HTML you can write whatever you way. Okay, that is very simple. Now I want to display this one. So to do that, I want to consider one HTML here. We'll use the existing one. Okay, how I can do it is easy way, I will tell you. We can just edit whatever it is generated HTML, we'll use that one. I'll show you that. See this product, we have some HTML, right? I will copy edit this HTML. I will show you how we can use existing one. This is kind of one technique. Just I want to edit this. Click on edit as HTML. Just copy this. Okay, I'm copying this HTML. I'm pasting inside JavaScript. Okay, or else what we can do it is in JavaScript already we have this kind of logic at the top, right? We can use this one. Just we can modify. Only thing is we need to modify little bit HTML. That's all. At present I'm trying to show only one product. See, we have column here, and I will show you at present only div class equal to row, and I need to close that div. At present I'm planning to show you only one element, but later we need to show a different way. Okay, so I'm just going to change this one. At present I want to show only image with height equal to 10%, width equal to 50%. Okay, I will show only these things in different div. Okay, so I'm just modifying existing one. Okay, I want to show only image inside one div. So in real time application, if you see small image, they will show left side, and remaining details right side they will show. I'm trying to do that kind of functionality. Okay, so I will delete this because I want to show only one image. This div is closed here. This div, how many divs? So, this is for row, this is for column. Okay, that is fine. Okay, now what I want to do, after one more column I will keep here for displaying the price and all. So for displaying price, we need one more column, means left side one image, and right side I want to display quantity and price. Okay, so that's why I'm giving one more div. Okay, here I want to show price details. At present I'm hard coding. First our layout is coming, later we can do price dynamic data, like price we will display here. Okay, at present here we need to show some, we have products here, display selected products. So based on display selected products, there we'll have some property called image path. Okay, there only we have display products dot price also. Okay, so anyway I will do it dynamic only. We have data. This is actually whatever you selected product information we are going to show that cell. At present I'm doing for single element. Okay, display product. So this is completely, I will change this as products. SCL HTML equal to okay, var. This will come with experience. That's why I'm telling you guys also practice. So at last, after generating all HTML, we need to attach this to container. So where is your container? So this is our container. We can, instead of showing this message, now I'm going to display this product. Now I am expecting our HTML not will come proper way. In tomorrow class, we'll finalize and we'll fix everything. Okay, at present I'm trying to display this products HTML. Okay, here in tomorrow our finalize what we need to do. We need to get the quantity also, and we'll finalize this HTML proper way. Now what is the output? We just omit this one, but main thing is we are getting filtering the data. That is working good. So we'll see the output of this. At present we are making for only one single element. So just refresh. I think this is republishing. Now we need to click add to cart. Okay, I clicked on that. Sorry. What is happening? Some errors, we got it. Unexpected string. Okay, I'll see this error. Okay, this is white space. This is very dangerous. Okay, so everything is fine. This is okay. We'll restart. Oh my. 115. Okay, so this plus is not required now. Okay, we'll see tomorrow if not coming or not. Tomorrow we'll fix it. Our main intention is actually sometimes HTML. What is happening? Okay. Index.html is there actually. We'll see. What is error? Okay, here plus is required. Oh my gosh, our previous is not refreshed. Yeah, now it should come. So this is the problem with jQuery JavaScript. If you're using, the code is very tedious. You don't get what is the errors also. So that is very crucial. That's why our Angular frameworks, if you use, this all problems will be solved. Okay, now you got it. When I click here, I want to see some HTML. It should come. Not coming. Something problem. Okay, some image is not coming here. We'll see what is the problem. Okay, it is coming undefined. See, you can debug this way. Undefined came. Why? Because display selected products. Okay, without selected any product, we went there. See here, zero is there, right? Without we are selecting any product, means we have to handle that condition also. When it is zero, you should not allow user to click and redirect. Okay, that is also one important point. Okay, here I just without adding any element in the cart, I just went there. So that's why happened that issue. So most probably now it should work. Okay, we'll add one product. What is this? Okay, I'm going to click now. See something coming object. Okay, now also we can inspect this. What is the error we need to see? Okay, this is coming undefined again, but somewhere it is coming object. Because this is an array, we are pushing into array, so we need to use array of 0 dot image path, and here we are directly displaying displayed selected product. Okay, we need to use of 0 dot price id dot price. Okay, so we forgot these things. Now again I will click, sorry, now we're clicking on here. Okay, at last we got, but price not came. Miss pay me capital P or a small p, we need to check what is the price here. P is capital. Okay, so we need to use same here. We are given here P small. Okay, it has to show no price. Okay, this is the last. I will do tomorrow, finalize properly. We'll make align for different products also. At present we are trying to show for one product. See price and this is came, but it should be showing in right side. Okay, and we need to show quantity, and at last draw there is a button called place the order. This is my requirement, so that requirement will finish tomorrow, maximum half an hour will take, and we'll finish. Okay, then we'll click on place order. Okay, so that HTML page when you constructing, then you guys focusing on not about requirement, how I'm handling, how I'm thinking about logic here. Key takeaway is how I'm able to understand if I'm getting some error, how I'm thinking about arrays, how I'm handling and playing with arrays and objects. That things you need to understand. Okay, so I'm stopping today's class here. In tomorrow's class, mostly we'll finish this page. Okay, and if you have other options like search option also, once we have this all functionality, right, we can implement instead of drop down changes, we can make it as a search box change also. When you type something, auto complete will come. When you're clicking on auto complete, we need to show products. At present we are showing drop down, right? Because in real time, if you see Amazon, whatever, like Flipkart, these kind of e-commerce websites, we are using search boxes only. So that functionality also I want to implement once we complete this. Okay, so these are like to do application and case studies, whatever you learn still, like JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and jQuery, Bootstrap CSS, and Font Awesome. Okay, it contain this simple application, multiple things. Okay, I will send these files because all JS files I need to rename to text files. I have some issue about uploading this. So that's why I'm not uploaded. If you guys want, I can share in Google Drive. Is it fine? Google Drive is fine.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, I will share this code, but you guys try to do some use cases yourself. How I'm doing, I'm planning. I don't have any plan. Simply, I'm planning to do this, and I am started coding. That way, you take some use cases, how we can able to do your code. That is important. Okay, practicing very important in stuff, because when I'm typing code, you guys are getting bored, right? Just seeing I'm doing something and something. So it's very boring for you, but I feel like I'm enjoying this coding and debugging and all. So you guys also feel that way, you practice yourself, then it will be good for you. Okay, I know when I'm doing this coding all, you just guys just seeing and watching, you don't learn anything. But the logic one I'm doing, I'm explaining, right? That logic you have to keep in mind, how I'm debugging, how I'm finding resolving issues, because when I'm doing this, I'm getting so many issues. But because of my experience, I'm understanding and immediately fixing that issue. But you guys struggle a lot when you're fresher or something, and you come us through this one, you struggle a lot initially. When I'm fresher, I struggle these small codes or small things, I struggled. Now within 1 or 2 minutes, I'm able to resolve the issue. Okay, so you guys practice well, and I will send this all code. We'll finish tomorrow this use case. Okay, I'm
Hello.
stopping.
Hello, please. Tomorrow at what time we have the class?
I think tomorrow weekend, right? So I will
Yeah.
inform, because next week, and not next week, next week after next week means 19th, I'm going some vacation plan. 19
Okay.
to 22, I will not available for 3 days. So
Okay.
3 or 4 days. So for that cover, the 3 4 days, I will take weekends. You guys are okay for to take weekends? Next weekend, maybe I want to take 2 days. Is it okay?
No, please, like, I think I can't make it on weekends.
At least Saturday?
No. I mean,
Oh,
like, this weekend, Sunday, I can make it, but next weekend, I can't make it.
okay, because I thought to take some weekdays for 3 days leave. So to
Mm-hmm.
cover that 3 days, I'm planning
Mm.
for tomorrow and the next 2 days, next weekend 2 days. I'm thinking you guys are okay, I will do it, or else I need to take 3 days pass. If you are okay, we'll continue on weekends. If you guys don't have any issue, at least Saturdays, like this Saturday and next Saturday. Okay, so let me know, you guys. Okay, you can send me email if you have any problem. Okay, you guys are okay tomorrow Saturdays to take class tomorrow?
For me, I can't make it tomorrow.
Okay, okay, then fine. Actually, they told me we don't have any classes on weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Only
Mm-hmm.
weekdays only. They told. I am also actually accepted that one, because of I thought 3 days will be delayed for you guys. That time I can cover in weekends, I'm thinking. Whereas if you are okay for that, we'll continue that 3 days. I will pass. That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
The 3 days will be delayed, that's all. Okay, nothing much.
Okay.
Okay, if you want that time some 3 days to cover, I will give you some task for what you call homework kind of thing. But I want to see somebody, I'm done this one, you can share screen and you can show, I will be interesting, because or else I'm simply talking and just doing coding. I don't understand you guys understanding or not, I'm very confusing. Okay, so okay, anyway, you guys any concerns, you just mail me or message me. Okay, I'm just informing 19 to 22, I will not be available from 19
Okay.
to 22. Okay,
Okay.
okay, bye, see you.
Bye. Thank you.